Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk about 5 guns from 2020 that really excited me when I found out they were going to be released to the US market. But before we get started with the video, guys, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. A surprisingly small number of you guys who watch our videos actually click that subscribe button, so click it now, do us a favor. Also comment down below. The first rifle that I want to show you, and these are in no particular order, I should say firearm because there's rifles and pistols here. The first firearm I want to show you guys is the Kalashnikov USA KR-103. Prior to this, they had brought out the Comrade shotgun, and they had also released the 9mm, the KR-9, which we know as the Russian Vitez, and everybody was eagerly awaiting their AK entry into the market, and they decided to come to market with an AK-103, except, of course, you'll notice this one does not have the folding stock, something they said that would come later in the production run. Of course, COVID-19 hit, slowed things way down, made the delivery on these rifles late as it is, and has also put off the introduction of the side folding stock. But when I saw these at SHOT Show, I was blown away by it because we had an actual Russian rifle there to take apart, and I was able to take apart one of the pre-production samples and compare the parts side by side. And it's really, really uncanny how close Kalashnikov USA has come to perfectly cloning the AK production rifles. So the AK-103, the KR-103, is definitely one of the most exciting firearms of 2020 for me. I just could not wait to get my hands on it, and it did not disappoint. This gun has been amazing. I now believe that the KUSA 103 is going to be the gold standard by which the competition is going to be measured. You know, we did a video recently comparing this to the Palmetto State Armory rifle, which is a very nice rifle in its own right, but it has a large stem bolt. It's an AKM on the inside. This is an actual 103. All the parts are the correct size, just waiting on that folding stock. These things also, before the madness, were intended to come to market right around $1,000, which made them extremely competitive. That's within $100 or two of the Palmetto State Armory offerings. And really, aside from PSA and KUSA, there aren't a whole lot of AKs on the US market made here in the United States that I could recommend. And these guns are 100% down to the last screw made in the United States. Shooting some brass cased ammunition today. We're burning up some old Fiocchi that we have. The action on this thing is glassy smooth. The fit and finish is absolutely perfect. And this is a rifle that you can buy and be proud to own. It's not rough around the edges like a Wasser 10 or something like that. Very, very smooth shooting. And yeah, if you're in the market for an AK, and if you can find one of these, I highly recommend it. Guys, please swing by and check out Big Daddy Unlimited, BDU. They help support us here at the Military Arms Channel with products and things like that so we can continue to bring you content. There's a link in the video description down below that'll take you to the Mac blog and website. Please follow that link, and from there you'll find a link to Big Daddy Unlimited, and try them out just for 99 cents. You can see what they're all about. In essence, they're just like a big online store that has amazing prices. So please, again, check out BDU. The next firearm I want to show you guys really truly excited me when I got the phone call. I got a phone call from IWI US asking if Copper would like to buy a number of different rifles and pistols for resale. And the gun they were offering to Copper was the 545x39 Ace. I had to ask twice for them to repeat themselves to make sure I was hearing correctly what they were saying they were bringing into the US market. And the 545x39 Ace is not a regular production item for IWI. They produce these for the US market. They made 545 rifles like you see here, and they made 545 pistols. Very limited production run. They have serial numbers unique to each gun. You can get a certificate of authenticity if you buy one of these by contacting IWI via their website. And you get probably the most modern, best AK currently on the market in a caliber that I absolutely love. I love AKs and AK-74s and AKMs, but the 545x39 is by far my favorite Soviet caliber. It is their version of our own 5.45. It makes for a very mild recoiling rifle. It's typically more accurate than 7.62 by 39, and it has an extended range because the bullet's moving faster and has a better ballistic coefficient. It doesn't run out of steam at 500 yards like the 7.62 by 39. It's just a great all-around caliber. Having that in this, and it uses actual AK-74 magazines, in this case, a Russian Plum. I was doing backflips. I could not wait to see these, and the AK community pretty much agreed. These things sold out very, very quickly, and I trust they're in good homes because this is nothing short of amazing. It maintains all the familiar controls with the ACE. You have your side charging handle, you have your fire control selector here by your thumb. Forward is fire, back is safe. You still have your little truncated safety over here you can use if you're an AK guy. It has a collapsible stock. It also folds. Let's see, you got to pull down on this one. Folds to the side. Has the pick rail that goes away all the way across the top, allowing you to mount things like this. Of course, you have 1913 rails underneath the handguard. I'm just ecstatic for this firearm. So this, the moment I saw it, I said, this is definitely one of my top favorite guns of 2020. So here it is. Does not lock open the last round fired because it is using actual AK-74 magazines. I think they were just under $2,000, like $18.99 or something like that, if I remember right. I could be remembering it wrong, but I believe they sold it at the exact same price that the 7.62 by 39 and the 5.56 guns did. But now I can only imagine what they're worth. Very, very cool gun. Definitely a top pick for 2020. When I was a kid, the HK94 was a gun that not very many people wanted because the price, which was similar to the 5.56 and 308 versions of the HK rifles, people just thought it was too much money for a 9mm carbine, so they take that same amount of money and go buy the HK93 or the HK91 and get a rifle caliber. The HK94s didn't become popular until after the 1986 machine gun ban, and people were buying registered Sears and the HK94s and cutting them up and making them into machine guns. That's when their values started to skyrocket, and that's when the demand of the guns went up. But for many couple of decades there, we didn't have German-made HK94s coming into the U.S. market. We had a number of companies spring up. I think one of the first was, Todd Bailey. What was the name of his company? Special Weapons. Special Weapons did a cast receiver of an HK94 type firearm, and then he started stamping the receivers, and then it would change company names several times. But now we have PTR making them, and we have imports that have come out of Pakistan, the POF guns. We've had the Turkish MK-EK guns come in. But in 2020, H&K brought back the real deal, and they launched it as the SP5, so it's no longer called the HK94. And they had 3 different versions that they've produced for the US market. The full size that you see here, the SP5. Then they have the SP5K, which is the K gun that does not have a threaded barrel or tri-lug. The barrel ends at the front sight block. And then the most recent addition to the line is the SP5K PDW, which is the K gun with this barrel that you see here with the tri-lug adapter and the threaded 1/2x28 barrel on the end. The guns are surprisingly priced well. If you take a look at what they sold for before the panic buying, you're looking at right around $1,800 to $2,000, which is exactly what the Zenith MK-EK guns are selling for, and PTR selling their guns for quite a bit of money as well. So the fact that you can, if you can find one, go out and get the real German article now, that's pretty impressive. And when I found out HK was bringing these back, again, I was doing backflips and fist pumping in the air because I wanted an opportunity to own a newly manufactured MP5 semi-automatic, and that's exactly what the SP5 is. So it has all the familiar controls. It still has that HK style paint. We now have the updated lower, which is polymer, 2-position selector. This one has the SP tactical side folding brace on it. They left pistol sights on here, which are U-notch versus having diopter on the rear, like the HK94 that preceded it. But other than that, I mean, this is even more nicely made than the originals. And I've owned several of the originals. The welds are a little bit cleaner and stuff like that, but then technology has progressed quite a bit. So if you're looking to buy an MP5 type firearm, you simply can't beat HK. Given the price point, if you can find one, get it. I'd far rather have this than over any one of the various clones that are out there, because like I said, it's the real deal. Roller delayed, fluted chamber, and absolute German perfection. Yep, definitely a top gun of 2020 once again. One of the things I get asked all the time is, Mac, how can I get involved in the firearms industry? Well, one of the best ways to do that is to consider going to Modern Gun School. It's an accredited school, and they offer all the modern classes that will get you up to speed and be able to empower you to go out and find a job in the gun industry. You can learn gunsmithing and things like that, and you learn from home. So please check them out. I have a URL down in the video description below. When I was in Germany a couple of years ago, I got to see what would become a new product here on the United States market, and that was the FK Bruno PSD pistol. The handgun that preceded this on the US market, the field pistol, was made of all metal and cost something outrageous like $6,000 to $7,000. A beautiful pistol, but way out of the range of most Americans. What made the gun unique, though, was the bottleneck cartridge that it fired, the 7.5 FK, which I have here. Now, many people compare this ballistically to the 9x25 Dillon. Hopefully in the future, I'll be able to get my hands on a barrel and I'll be able to do a comparison between this caliber and the 9x25 Dillon, but that's down the road. The PSD pistol, when it came to the US market, didn't cost $6,000 or $7,000. It cost $1,500, and it came with two barrels. You could fire the 7.5 FK or the 10mm. And now, at the time of filming of this video, they also offer it in 9mm. So there's three calibers you can shoot out of this polymer framed handgun. And that's one of the biggest differences this handgun has over its predecessor that cost so much more, the fact that it uses a polymer frame versus a metal frame. But many of the other features are still present. It's based on a CZ type action, which is a Browning type action, has the weight underneath here to, I think they call it the recoil attenuator, which is, I've showed in previous videos. If you want an in-depth video on this gun, there's a couple of them here on the Military Arms channel. But it also has the ability now to mount optics on it. So it's slide cut for optics. In this case, I have a Trijicon SRO on the handgun, something the field pistol did not offer as an option. Like the field pistol, the PSD has this metal insert in the bottom of the magazine well, which acts as a mounting point for a stock or a brace. So you can actually form one this gun and fire it from the shoulder for hunting and things like that. If you wanted to go deer hunting with this powerhouse, it would be an ideal pistol. It's probably one of the most practical handguns in the power range that it's offered in. Sure, there are handguns out there like the Desert Eagle, but the Desert Eagle is not a practical handgun to carry. While this handgun is a little bit big, it's not all that heavy. Again, it has a polymer frame, and there are holsters available for it, either as a chest rig, but a local company, Four Bros Holsters, is also making a holster for this so you can actually carry it on your hip. It's practical to carry into the field. So, affordable price. You now have the option of putting red dot sights on it. Now has a polymer frame. Obviously, you can mount lights on it. It is a single action only pistol. It does not have double action capability, so you would have to cock it and put it on safe to carry it loaded, because again, there's no double action. But even with the full power 7.5 FK, it's a horrendous blast in this building, but the recoil impulse is actually fairly mild. We were walking around SHOT Show just over a year ago, and we were venturing through the B&T booth, and Jason stopped at the wall, looked at something, picked it up. He seemed interested in it, and he was. He turned around and handed it to me, and it was this gun. And I picked it up, and I looked at it, and I said, awesome, man, an APC Pro, takes Glock mags, non-reciprocating charging handle, neat. And he goes, take a closer look at it. And I took a closer look, and then I realized the markings on the receiver that said APC 10. This is a 10 millimeter. And if you know anything about me, I absolutely love 10 millimeter. I don't care who makes a 10 millimeter product, even High Point. And yes, I have a High Point 10 millimeter carbine. I want that gun. And B&T is my favorite PCC / submachine gun / whatever you want to call it type of firearm out there. And when I saw it in 10 millimeter, I just had to have it. And so Copper put in an order for some, and I got my hands on this one. And it hasn't disappointed. What's really cool is it's not much bigger than the standard 9 millimeter version. The bolt's heavier, obviously, because of the mass that's required to deal with the 10 millimeter cartridge versus 9 millimeter. But it also, and it is blowback operated, it also has their proprietary and patented hydraulic buffering system back here, so it definitely dampens that recoil impulse. And it has all the pro features, the non-reciprocating charging handle. You have the ambi bolt stop, bolt release that you can get to very easily. Has the mag release on both sides of the gun, right here and right here. And then the ambi fire controls. Yeah, 10 millimeter, awesome. It gives power to a firearm like this, because the 10 millimeter in a full house load is 357 Magnum plus on the power scale, and in a perfectly normal sized firearm. It uses Glock magazines, and so this is a Chris Vector 10 millimeter magazine with the extension on it. On top of it, I have an RMR red dot sight with a Midwest Industries quick detach mount, and then an SP Tactical side folding brace. This thing is awesome beyond words. Yep. I absolutely love this thing. Definitely a way to top off 2020 for sure. Giving me a 10 millimeter that's probably the best 10 millimeter PCC that I own and probably ever will own. I just love B&T products. I look forward to reading your comments down below talking about the firearms you found to be most interesting in 2020. Guys, if you'd like to support us so we can continue to bring you videos like this, please consider becoming part of our Patreon family. We're supported by you, our viewing audience, and you can do that by following the link in the description below. You'll get early access to videos, direct access to me. I answer all private communications, and we have a great community of folks there to interact with. Also, right here on YouTube, there's a little join button underneath the video player you're watching right now. Click that join button and consider supporting us right here on YouTube. And last but not least, guys, please swing by and check out coppercustom.com. Thank you for 13 years of support, and we will talk to you guys soon.